Here's more wrestling news for July 11th, 2021. And your headlines for this afternoon include why Roman Reigns name-dropped Brock Lesnar during WWE SmackDown. Young Bucks clap back at Big E's comment about being the best tag team in the world. Aleister Black seemingly accepts Lance Archer's challenge for a match in cryptic response. Reby Riott's current situation with Impact Wrestling revealed. Stephanie McMahon talks new WWE sets and presentation for live shows. Wrestler says if Triple H is honest, he knows that WWE isn't the place everyone wants to work. Chris Jericho eviscerates fan who jumped the ring at AEW Dynamite. Released WWE superstar says WWE forcing him to show up for tapings and not compete was them, quote, rubbing his nose in it. Jim Cornette and Reby Hardy go at it in profanity-filled Twitter war, and more. We are starting today with Brock Lesnar, who has been missing ever since his WrestleMania 36 loss to Drew McIntyre, but WWE haven't forgotten about the Beast incarnate. Recently, Paul Heyman changed his Facebook profile picture to feature Lesnar, and Roman Reigns even mentioned his old nemesis by name during a promo on SmackDown. When Ringside News asked about what all this means, their sources in WWE made it clear that there's been no conversation with Lesnar at all regarding a return. Heyman's profile picture has been explained as Heyman liking to plant seeds that he and Reigns can use in the future, and the Tribal Chief's reference to Lesnar has been explained as either something agreed between Reigns, Heyman, and Vince McMahon, or Heyman and Reigns once again throwing out his name, which may pay off in the future. Reigns' reference to Lesnar has divided fans, with some thinking it's part of a slow build to a Lesnar-Reigns rematch, and others thinking it was just a reference to the history of Reigns' career. At this time, there's no working plans for Lesnar to come back to WWE, but we doubt that'll stop fans speculating on when, if ever, the Beast returns to the ring. Last month, WWE compiled a list of the greatest tag teams of all time, which saw The New Day earn the #1 spot. On Twitter, Big E admitted that many will disagree with the list, but he's massively grateful to Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, which caught the attention of AEW's World Tag Team Champions. Unsurprisingly, taking a dig at WWE, the Young Bucks copied word for word Big E's emotional tweet, but changed it to make it all about them. Fans were quick to notice where the Bucks took their tweet from, in the company's latest reference to WWE. In 2019, The New Day signed identical contracts with WWE to show solidarity, meaning we won't be seeing the Bucks versus The New Day for a very long time, if ever. New Day were voted WWE's greatest tag team ever, but the Bucks clearly disagree. And who do you think is the better tag team in this social media war? On the most recent AEW Dynamite, Malachi Black made his debut, and it won't be long before he has his first match in the All Elite promotion. Following his shocking debut this week, AEW's Murder Hawk monster Lance Archer took to Twitter to challenge him to a match, saying it'd be a killer. The former NXT champion responded with a cryptic tweet that spoke of hanging gallows and giving a jest to the crowd, and from what we can decipher, the former WWE superstar accepted Archer's challenge. So far, no match has been confirmed by AEW themselves, and whilst Black's debut came at the expense of Cody Rhodes and Arn Anderson during Dynamite, it appears that Lance Archer will be the first man to get a piece of the Dutch wrestler. Over to Impact next, and on Saturday, the company will host its annual Slammiversary event, and much like last year, fans are expecting some released WWE superstars to make the show. With Deonna Purrazzo set to defend the Knockouts title against a mystery opponent, many are suspecting that this will be Reby Riott, aka Ruby Soho, but that isn't the case. Fightful Select reports that there's no word on the former Riott Squad member taking any bookings for Impact, and while Purrazzo's mystery opponent is someone outside Impact's roster, it isn't Ruby Soho. Even if Purrazzo's opponent isn't Ruby, there's plenty of former WWE superstars she could defend against, and we'll just have to wait until this Sunday to find out which released talent makes the jump to Impact. Back to WWE, and with the company set to return to touring next week, it's been reported that both Raw and SmackDown will have brand new sets to welcome back live fans. So far, details are scarce as to what those sets will be like, but the stages won't be the only new part of the company's broadcast. Speaking to Variety this week, Chief Brand Officer Stephanie McMahon discussed WWE's return to touring and live fans and said how WWE has been able to experiment with different types of technology during the Thunderdome era, which will now be used in WWE's return to the road. She added, "We're going to have a new set design, a new presentation of our talents, different locations, and arena setups. We're going to be utilizing augmented reality in a way that we never have before. We experimented with it a lot during the Thunderdome, but it is now going to be incorporated into our talent entrances. There's also going to be animated graphics. It's going to be so exciting and so different than anything we've done before." WWE's Thunderdome allowed the company to have virtual fans at a time when fans simply weren't allowed to attend shows live, and after a year away, we're interested to see what changes are made when fans return on next week's edition of SmackDown. Now, last month, Triple H had a media call to promote NXT TakeOver In Your House, and during that call, he made some controversial comments. Saying that WWE doesn't need a second all-female event, the game said that the best female wrestlers already work in WWE, or if they don't, they want to. Many saw that as dismissing any female wrestlers who choose to work in other companies, and now Maria Kanellis-Bennett has weighed in on the comments. Speaking to Inside the Ropes, the former superstar, who was released from WWE last year, said that of course Triple H has to say something like that, adding, "If Triple H is honest, he knows that WWE isn't the place everyone wants to work." Maria went on to say that some of her fellow ROH workers have turned down offers by WWE and described what she called an underground network where women from different companies discuss how well they're treated by their employers. The WWE's COO may feel everyone wants to work for WWE, but that clearly isn't the case. And that's a reality Maria believes the game knows, but refuses to admit. On the most recent episode of AEW Dynamite, a fan tried to make a name for themselves during the show, jumping the barricade during Chris Jericho's entrance. The fan was quickly stopped by security and received a punch from Jericho for his troubles, and on social media, the fan revealed that he did this all for Jim Cornette. That earned a response from Jericho himself, who didn't mince his words, saying, "Do you really think Jim Cornette would condone this, you f***ing loser? Jimmy would have shoved a tennis racket up your ass and smashed your car windows." Cornette himself has distanced himself from the fan, blocking him on social media, and let this be a lesson to all fans that no wrestler or anyone in the industry will ever support someone jumping the barricade. Before leaving WWE, Murphy was often considered the company's best-kept secret, a moniker he gave himself due to his talent, but often being overlooked by the company. In that same interview, Murphy discussed how he was frequently overlooked, saying he'd be forced to show up to tapings only to go unused. He explained, "When you're in that system, you break it down into ways that you can take a lot of stuff personally. So, I don't know how much I should say, but Aleister Black wasn't on television for a while, and he came back with this new character and his vignette started playing, but he wasn't showing up at TV. He didn't have to be present at TV. So once my storyline with the Mysterios got dropped overnight without me being told, I was showing up at TV every week I was there. So you have two guys in a similar position, one gets to stay home, then I have to come in, and I felt like they were rubbing my nose in it. You love wrestling, you can't do it. All I wanted to do was perform. I want to contribute, I want to earn my paycheck, I want to do what I've honed for 15 years. Time will tell where Murphy goes next, but after spending much of his WWE career on the sidelines, the former Cruiserweight champion is hoping for much better booking in other promotions. And we're ending with more news of the barricade-jumping fan during Wednesday's Dynamite, and despite the fact that Jim Cornette has distanced himself from the fan and his actions, not everyone has got the memo. Reby Hardy clearly hasn't seen Cornette's utter dismissal of the barricade-jumping fan, as she fired a tweet off saying that Cornette inspired and empowered this type of behavior. Responding with the same vitriol, Cornette asked if anyone was talking to her and threw in some vintage Cornette profanity, and Reby wasn't going to let this tweet go unanswered. Responding, Hardy accused using her name and likeness in clickbait videos, touting imaginary beef, and with some cursing of her own, said how Cornette never shuts up. We'll have to see if Hardy and Cornette ever make amends, but for now, the pair are happy taking some big shots at each other. It should be noted that Cornette has completely rejected the fan who claims he tried to jump in the ring for him, but that clearly doesn't make Reby Hardy a fan of him. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.